Alright, we have entered a new year. Happy New Year to all of you. I hope you all have a great year ahead. I know this video is very late. It's because this past week has been extremely hot and there was no way I could record in that heat because I usually put the fan off and close the window and stuff. It was like 40 degrees and stuff like that. I think in America that's like 104 Fahrenheit or something. And that's just depending on where you were. That was like the general temperature. So in this room, if I had the fan off and window closed, it would have been much, much worse. But since we're in a new year though, it's time for the kind of obligatory New Year, New Me video. Or in my case, New Year, same old problems. Now, I already know a lot of people won't get this video recommended to them, and for those who do, end up clicking on this video, it might not be super interesting because there's not much gameplay stuff going on besides maybe the background video I have playing. This is basically a video with me just talking about stuff. I enjoy doing something like this every now and then. But I do hope you guys keep watching and listening to some of this stuff. Firstly, this past year has definitely been the best year for the channel so far. We got to 1,000 subs. Thank you guys again for that, by the way. But other stuff as well. I can actually show this. Let me swap over. Like, as you can see here, there were some videos that just did really well, especially considering this is a very tiny channel on YouTube. So some of these videos doing these kind of big numbers for a channel this small was really fantastic to see. So it definitely was a good year last year, but I also have to acknowledge some of the problems I've noticed or run into myself. A lot of this has to do with the YouTube side of things. The first one I want to talk about is niches on YouTube. Now, as much as YouTube says they're helping smaller creators and stuff and promoting their videos more, I haven't noticed that happening for me all that much. Even though this past year the channel did really well, I don't think that was YouTube systems helping me. I think it was more because I was doing videos on Tekken 8, which just so happened to be new and popular, and had a lot of people interested in it. It's like I've seen brand new YouTube channels, like created like a week prior to the videos that they were uploading, with like 2 or 3 videos get thousands of views and subs and stuff, and those videos were on Tekken 8. But going back to like the whole niches thing, I would say my niche for the past year has been Tekken, which I fucking hate. not Tekken specifically, but the whole niche thing in the first place. I do love playing Tekken, but I also love playing a bunch of other fighting games, and just a bunch of games in general. If you saw the 1000 subs video, which would be this one, if you saw this video, you would have seen that it's not just Tekken 8 stuff in there. Or even fighting games in general. It's videos, well, clips of videos from like the past 3 years of this channel, and it's a bunch of different games. But here's the problem. Gaming itself is kind of like the broadest sense of the niche. It then subdivides into genres, for example, fighting games, RPGs. But that subdivides again. You have 3D and 2D for fighting games, and you have like JRPG and MMORPG. It can even subdivide again! So under 3D you have like Virtua Fighter, Soul Calibur, Dead or Alive, and Tekken. Well, in this case Tekken 8. So that's kind of the problem. You have all of these subcategories all the time, and you end up in a much smaller niche, and you become very limited in a sense. You're basically punished for experimenting and doing other stuff as well, in a way. For example, even this video, I don't expect it to do well at all because it's not specifically related to the niche that is Tekken. And the same thing would happen if I did a video on Virtua Fighter, for example, which isn't far off from Tekken. They're both 3D fighters. But what's going to happen is YouTube will show the video to you guys that subbed. You might not be interested because you subbed for like Tekken content, for example, and you're not so interested in Virtua Fighter. Then YouTube might show it to other people, but since they don't know the channel, they are like way less likely to click on the video and watch it. So the video just kind of dies out, and it would be even worse if I did a video on, let's say, Marvel Rivals, for example, because that's way more far removed from what Tekken is as a game. So you see how this becomes really limiting and basically punishing when you try to do other stuff? For bigger YouTube channels, they don't take as much of a hit since they have a bigger audience already. For a channel that's like mine, that's kind of small, it's a huge disheartening hit, honestly, when you try to do a different type of video and hardly anyone gets to see it. So where exactly is YouTube helping to promote smaller creators and their videos? I don't know. It also makes even less sense when you realize, let's just go into any video here, let's go into this one. Yeah, this is where it makes even less sense. You realize that in the video details, you have the option to select a category, in my case, gaming, and the title of the game as well. What the fuck is this there for? If it's not being used to promote the video to an audience that would be more interested in that specific game or type of game. It feels like it's just stupid, because like, look at this. If I type in Tekken, for example, just Tekken. Look at what comes up here. We have original Tekken. For some reason, Tekken 2 is down here, but Tekkens 1 through 8, Tag Tournament, Street Fighter X Tekken. They even have Dark Resurrection listed as its own thing. Revolution is here. What the fuck is Tekken Advance? I don't know. What is that actually? But Tekken Mobile. You have the fucking option for Tekken Mobile. Hybrid, which is Tag 2. Oh, but not Tag 2. It's a Tag 2 demo and Tag 1's remaster in a sense. But Streets of Rage picks up under Tekken. Like, you have all of those options there. But if I had to do a video on, let's say, for example, let's type in Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. Again, what is this used for if not to promote the video to an audience that would be interested in Mortal Kombat? It really does feel like wasted effort. Which brings me to the second thing quite nicely, actually, which is effort versus reward. Now, when I say reward, I don't mean monetization. What I mean is the time and effort you're putting into a video versus how many people get to see and watch the video. But this is where things get odd. Like I mentioned before, if I suddenly did a Marvel Rivals video or, let's say, No Man's Sky for a video for some reason, because I did actually plan to do those over a year ago and I didn't end up doing it, it's not going to do that well. Because it has nothing to do with Tekken, which is what the majority of the channel has been for this past year. And since YouTube doesn't really do a good job of promoting those videos to new people who would be interested in it, those videos would just die out basically. Kind of like the 1,000 subs video, like, because it's not specifically like Tekken per se. It has a bunch of other stuff in it. Also, this thumbnail looks odd because there's 3 different thumbnails there. That's something else. But yeah, because it's not specifically revolving around... like, just look at the videos next to it. 500, 400. This one, 53. They didn't do that well. Because it's not specific to that niche that is Tekken. That's like a prime example. This video took effort. But again, you see how it feels like you've wasted time and effort on something, and how it feels like you're being punished for trying to make videos outside of the niche that you happen to fall into. But there's also the other side where a video that's still under that niche that you're in just randomly doesn't do well. For example, it's here somewhere. This video, the average promo cost video that I did a while back. That's still Tekken, but it didn't do anywhere near as well as the videos near it. And if I have to give you some of the backstory for this video specifically, this recording was like 2 hours, and I edited it down to this like almost 14 minutes. It's actually less, the outro is like 30 seconds, but like I spent like 17 or 18 hours editing this video, putting in the background music, the sound effects and stuff. This video by itself has like 10 times more editing than any of these Clive videos combined, and yet you have a Clive video that did 10 times better. So you see how sometimes even something within the niche that you're doing doesn't actually feel all that rewarding for the effort that you put into it. And it's not just me saying that, you can actually see it in the analytics stuff as well. Like this video, you can see within like the first day and stuff, the impressions is basically how many people see the thumbnail, not necessarily how many people have clicked on the video. But you see that it like spiked within the first 3 days. First day did a big number, second day it went a bit more, third day a bit more. But then you'll notice this plateau. The plateau here is kind of the problem, because this is basically like one, you know, it's showing this video to like 1 or 2 new people every day in a sense. Remember, this is the internet with thousands of people online constantly. Yeah, that kind of sucks. It basically means that YouTube's algorithm isn't really promoting that video. Now let's take a look at the Clive video. The Clive video starts off very differently. You can see in the first couple hours it did the same number that the other video took a day to do. And then slowly, oh well, not even slowly, but like still within the first day alone, it got shown to more people than that video did in a month. The other one, the promo curse video. Like, you see it in the analytics. This video spiked like a lot. Yes, it's going to plateau eventually as well, but if you look at the comparison here, this is like, again, 5 times the amount of people that got to see it. It's almost 12,000. Almost 6 times the amount of people, in a sense, that got to see just the thumbnail at least, compared to the other video. And this video has way less effort than the other video. It sucks. But again, comparing the two videos, this one, not as much effort at all put into this video, I would say. Personally, I'm the one that did the video and everything in it. So I can say for a fact, not as much effort went into this live video by comparison to the other video where it honestly does feel like a lot of wasted effort. What did I spend like 18 hours of my, almost 20 hours of my life for that one video for people to hardly see it? Compared to this one that took like maybe 2 hours. And that honestly puts me off from doing a lot of videos. I'll have an idea for a video or an idea for a series of videos and just scrap it, because I keep thinking if I put time and effort into those videos and hardly anyone gets to see or watch them, what's the point? Is it worth it? Because at the end of the day, I'm making videos because I want people to watch them, get some feedback on them. Was it good? Was it bad? You know, how can I improve stuff? If no one's getting to see it, a lot of that effort gets wasted in the first place. So it's not really worth it. Which brings me to the third thing, which is titles and thumbnails. This isn't exactly a YouTube thing, it's a me thing, and I suck. I suck at doing titles and thumbnails, honestly. But it is pretty hard sometimes to come up with a title and a thumbnail and stuff that would be interesting to people and still relates to the video, if that makes sense. Because I could easily just like create some dumb clickbait titles and thumbnails, but it has fuck all to do with the video. I feel terrible about it. But the reason I was talking about this stuff is because this year I want to actually try and work around this stuff. Like, I want to get back to making videos on a bunch of different games rather than being hyper-focused on one specific game. Maybe I'll start small, like doing videos on other fighting games and stuff, like maybe some Mortal Kombat. I had some ideas for videos on that. And then like slowly work my way towards doing other videos again on a bunch of different games and stuff again. I already know YouTube's algorithm will not like that, and those videos won't get seen by a lot of people, at least initially. What I'm hoping for is eventually it'll start going out to more people. But I feel like I was having the most fun making videos when I was playing a bunch of different games. And I wanted to get back to that, because when you... Another thing with it is like, you're kind of limited in creativity as well. For example, when you're doing just Tekken videos over and over again, you start falling into a pattern without you realizing it too much. Like, you're going to be using the same or very similar edits, the same sound effects and stuff. But back when I was playing like Master Duel and Fighters together, if I had an idea for some kind of edit in Master Duel, I'd find a way to actually carry that over into a Fighters video. And sometimes I would say it worked out pretty well. But the only reason that existed in the first place was because those are two completely different games where I'm thinking about the edits and stuff very differently. Whereas now, if I'm just doing Tekken over and over and over again, and well, with some exceptions, of course, being like the videos where I'm talking about stuff, of course the editing and stuff has to be different. There's no in-game music and stuff, so I get to do the background music. I get to throw some other effects and stuff in there. It's the same with like the This Week on Tekken videos. That's how I was doing those as well, to try and get some kind of other creative stuff going. And sometimes the memes and stuff from these videos I can actually slip into the normal videos as well, or the game videos where we're actually playing matches, and that would work. But again, the creativity does kind of lack when you just play the same thing over and over again. But yeah, I want to get back to playing a bunch of different stuff. I want to get back to making videos on a bunch of different stuff. And hopefully I learn how to make better titles and thumbnails as well.